All right, let's just get right to it. The big one. The question everyone is asking, is AI gonna take my job? It's everywhere, right? All over the headlines. Will a machine make your skills obsolete? And look, it's a totally valid fear. This is not just hype. In fact, when you see the actual numbers, well, they're pretty staggering. So get this. The International Monetary Fund, they're saying AI could impact about 40% of all jobs globally. That is a huge number. There's just no way around it. We are on the brink of a massive, massive economic shift. And this isn't just another little tech trend. This is a full-on disruption. Why? Because AI is jumping out of the factory and into the office. It's moving past simple, routine stuff and getting into serious cognitive work. We're talking about things like writing code, sifting through legal docs, even spotting cancer. The stuff we thought was our turf, exclusively human. But here's where it gets really interesting. Just when all the alarm bells are screaming, the actual data, it's starting to tell a totally different story. A much more optimistic one, actually. It turns out this whole human versus machine thing, it might be the wrong way to look at it. Because the real story here seems to be about augmentation, not annihilation. It's not about replacing us. It's about making skilled people, people like you, more valuable than ever before. And we've got the numbers to back this up. Okay, check this out. Data from PwC is, honestly, it's pretty surprising. In the industries where AI is hitting the hardest, you'd think wages would be dropping, right? Nope. They're actually rising twice as fast as in other sectors. AI isn't making people cheaper, it's making them more valuable. So why is that happening? Well, it's because AI is a monster productivity booster. In those same industries, the revenue per employee is growing 3 times faster. See? When you give people these powerful AI tools, they just create way more value. And that drives growth, not layoffs. So the takeaway here is absolutely crucial. We've got to stop thinking about this as a competition with AI. That's a losing game. Instead, we need to focus on a whole new kind of job security, one that's built on the stuff that machines just can't do. So let's dive into this idea we're calling the human moat. It's a great way to think about it. Imagine a castle, right? The moat is its defense. It's this protective barrier around your skills and your job, and it's built from these core human abilities that AI just can't get across. This human moat is really defined by 3 things, 3 areas where we humans have an unbeatable advantage, at least for the foreseeable future. It all comes down to our hands, our hearts, and our heads. Let's break down exactly what that means. First up, let's talk about the hands. Now, this isn't just about being good with your hands. It's about using them in really complex, messy, unpredictable situations, the real world. I mean, look at these AI resilience scores for the skilled trades. We're talking about an electrician trying to figure out the wiring in a 100-year-old house, or a plumber who can diagnose a leak just by the sound it's making, or a carpenter who has to deal with a piece of wood that's totally warped. These jobs demand constant improvisation, and right now, robots are just terrible at that. And this quote from an MIT robotics researcher, man, it just says it all perfectly. The second you put a robot inside a real home, where nothing is level and every single cabinet is a different size, you realize just how unstructured and chaotic reality actually is. It's not a nice, clean factory floor. And that chaos, that's the natural defense for any job where you have to physically get in there and solve problems. Okay, so from the hands, we move to the second pillar of our moat, the heart. This is all about emotional intelligence. Empathy, the ability to build real, genuine trust and human connection. Look, an algorithm can be programmed to simulate empathy, but it can't actually feel it, and that's a huge difference. Think about jobs like therapists, nurses, social workers. They are almost completely protected by this moat. The most important part of their job isn't processing data, it's building that trust with a patient, offering comfort in a crisis, or helping a family through a tough time. An AI can schedule an appointment, for sure, but it can't hold someone's hand and really be there for them. And the stakes for getting this wrong are incredibly high. I mean, just look at this. A Stanford study found this absolutely chilling failure. Someone prompted a therapy bot with words that hinted at suicidal thoughts. The bot completely missed the danger, and instead, it gave them a list of tall bridges. I mean, wow. A human therapist would immediately pick up on the distress and offer real support. This isn't just some little bug in the code. It's proof positive that when it comes to a real crisis, human judgment is absolutely irreplaceable.
All right, so that brings us to the final pillar of the moat, the head. And let's be clear, this is not about raw computing power. AI is amazing at that. This is about something different. It's about high-stakes judgment, ethical reasoning, and, this is the big one, ultimate accountability.
For example, think about a surgeon in the middle of a complex operation who has to make a split-second life or death decision, or a lawyer who has to take full legal responsibility for the advice they give. Yeah, an AI can be an incredible assistant. It can analyze a medical scan or research a million pages of case law in a second. But what it can't do is take the blame when things go wrong. In these jobs, the human isn't just using a tool. They are the final stop, the one who's ultimately accountable. They're what we call the moral circuit breaker. And this idea of being a moral circuit breaker, it's absolutely key to everything we're talking about. That's the role you play when you are the one making the final call, when you are the one taking responsibility and providing the ethical gut check that an algorithm simply can't. So if being that circuit breaker is the safest place to be, what are the actual skills you need to do that, no matter what your job title is?
And this is where we need to make a really important mental shift. It's becoming less about your specific job title and way more about the fundamental human skills that build that moat, the skills that let you be that final point of judgment.
You know all those things we used to dismiss as soft skills? Well, they're about to become the most valuable things on the market. They're not soft anymore. They are survival skills. Welcome to what we're calling the human premium, an era where the things that make us most human are also the things that get us paid the most.
So what are these premium skills? Well, here's the core list. You've got emotional intelligence and empathy. That's the heart moat right there, connecting with people in a way an AI never could. Then there's complex problem solving. For all those messy real-world problems, that's your hands moat. And then the big ones, ethical judgment and trust building. That is the absolute foundation of the head moat, of being that moral circuit breaker. As AI takes over all the boring routine stuff, our ability to handle the weird, the complex, the exceptional, that becomes our real economic value. And we need to get good at this stuff fast. This chart is pretty eye-opening. The skills needed for jobs exposed to AI are changing 66% faster than for other jobs. 66%! The message here couldn't be clearer. You have to keep learning. Building these human-centric skills isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's mandatory. Okay, so let's bring this all home. What does this actually mean for you and your career? Well, the path forward is not about trying to fight AI. It's about learning to work with it, to collaborate, to use it as a tool that makes your uniquely human strengths even stronger. So here it is, a practical 3-step strategy you can use to start building your own career moat starting today. First, you've got to intentionally strengthen those human skills. Sign up for a course on negotiation or active listening. Volunteer to lead that complicated project at work. Find someone to mentor. That's a great way to build empathy. Second, learn to collaborate with AI. Seriously, start thinking of it as your co-pilot, not your competition. The goal is to automate the boring stuff so you can amplify your human judgment. And third, and this is crucial, always position yourself as the point of trust. In every project, be the person who does the final check, the one who talks to the client, the one who takes ultimate responsibility. You want to be the person who can say, yeah, the AI helped, but I stand by this work. That is the essence of being that moral circuit breaker. So let's just end with this. The whole debate is over. AI is going to change your job. That's a fact. So the real question, the only one that really matters for your future, isn't if it will happen, but how you're going to respond. How are you going to use it to become even more valuable? How are you going to build your moat, collaborate with these incredible new tools, and step up to become that irreplaceable human right at the center of everything?